Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for a special edition of Richard French Lives. You can tell we're not coming from the studios, but in fact, this is the fourth and final in a series of debates that we have conducted with the Westchester County Association and our friends over at Iona College who have conducted polling. It's on a series of races affecting the people of New York, both for the state legislature and also some of the key competitive congressional districts in what has been a very tumultuous midterm election season. So let me, without further ado, give both the participants the stakes and also the moderator here as well to walk us through it. We are talking about the New York State 37th District here and the incumbent Suzi Oppenheimer. She is the Democrat and working family candidate. And her challenger is Bob Cohen, who is running on the Republican, Conservative, and Independence lines. As I mentioned, this is the fourth debate and final one that we have conducted with our friends at the Westchester County Association. And we encourage everyone to check at the conclusion of the debate for more information on that. They can go to the website calltoactioncampaign.org. Now, polling, as I said, has been conducted by Iona College, and we'll be referencing throughout the debate some of the numbers for this particular race that they have found. At this point, I'd like to bring in my better half, Karen McBride. Karen's the editor of, among other publications, the Westchester County Business Journal and HV Biz. Now to the rules, and they're not too many. The debate itself, we're going to be here for an hour, and in that course of time, there'll be opening and closing statements. Opening statements will be 2 minutes in length, and the closing statements will be 1.5 minutes. Via coin flip, the first opening statement will be delivered by Mr. Cohen. Bob?
Yes, thank you, Mr. French. I appreciate everyone being here this evening. My name is Bob Cohen, and as was said earlier, I'm running for the New York State Senate in the 37th Senatorial District. I am not a career politician. I'm a businessman, I'm a father, I'm a volunteer firefighter in my town, but I come here tonight because I feel that things are very wrong in our state. I think we have to do things differently than we've done them in the past. In March of this year, I started my campaign, and I went in the beginning, and I've continued to go door to door. I've gone to in excess of 12,000 doors in this community, from Ossining in the north to New Rochelle in the south. And I've spoken to literally thousands of people in this district. And over again, I see and hear the same problems, the same complaints. New York State has become dysfunctional. New York State is no longer, our legislature is no longer delivering the services and the things that we expect of our state. Person after person has complained to me about the property tax burden in New York State. We all know that in Westchester County, we have the highest property tax burden. We also know that in the state, we have the third highest taxes of any state in the union. We have to do something about that. The people that I've spoken to have said to me, and I agree with them, that the spending, the borrowing, and the taxing are out of control in New York State. I'm here because I believe that New York State could do a lot better, that we could work together to solve our problems. New Yorkers are great people. We know how to solve problems. If we go ahead together, I think we can solve those problems. Thank you.
Senator Oppenheimer, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you. Well, I consider myself a public servant, not a career politician, because I come to you as a former League of Women Voters president, a former Wall Street analyst with a master's degree from Columbia, and a long record of fighting for reform in Albany. I support and signed your call to action pledge and the Ed Koch's New York Uprising pledge. I support Attorney General Cuomo's program to help job creation and economic growth. The most direct action we can take to help the economy in New York State is to lower the cost of providing government services and lowering property taxes for homeowners and businesses in our state. Government at every level must retool and find more efficient ways to provide services. As chair of the Senate Education Committee, I have been leading the effort for mandate relief and shared services for schools. The biggest share of our property tax, as you know, is schools. One of my mandate relief bills was signed into law this year. It was my landmark education reform bill, which helped to win New York State $700 million in federal funds in Race to the Top. I care deeply about our business community. In fact, I went to bat over the sugar tax recently, not only for Pepsi and Coke, but also for our small independent retailers. And I've just sponsored, the day before yesterday, my 19th annual Small Business Conference, just held in White Plains on Tuesday. I am eager to talk today about actions I have taken to reduce the property tax burden by cutting costs and promoting reorganization that is needed to downscale at every level of government. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. The first question will come from Karen.
Thank you, Rich. Senator Oppenheimer, Mr. Cohen, good evening. I'd like to start by talking about the anti-business climate in New York State, particularly here in Westchester County. Taxes, fees, and other costs are driving employers to move their workers out of the county. The MTA payroll tax, which was imposed by the state legislature as a part of a financial bailout of the agency and as a way to avert rate hikes and service cuts. The tax amounts to 34 cents on every $100 of payroll for businesses and other concerns in the 12 counties served by the agency. And despite this tax, the MTA is planning another fare increase, making it probably the most expensive public transportation system in the nation. Senator Oppenheimer, the National Federation of Independent Business says that you cast the deciding vote on what they call, and I quote, the tax that is crushing small business. Senator, when you voted in favor of the MTA tax, did you not perceive this as an anti-business vote?
If you want to see state government close, then the 32 of us did not have to vote for anything because the Republicans in the state Senate were voting as a block no. Yes, we could have said no to everything and we could have had a standstill government. Some of us voted for things that were in a budget, and a lot of what you're talking about was in a budget. If we hadn't voted together, our state would have been at a standstill. There would have been no budget, and we were getting no votes from the other side. So you can call me the 32nd vote. You can call any one of the Senate Democrats in the majority for the last 20 months. You can call any of us the deciding vote. I think it's a little specious to say that. But at any rate, the fact is what we inherited. In the last 10 years that the Republicans were in control of the Senate, and as you know, were in control for 70 years. In the last 10 years, they doubled our debt from $34 billion to $52 billion, almost. And they doubled our spending from $60 billion to $120 billion. This is what we inherited. And it was a very difficult spot to be in. Oh, I was just getting started. Okay. That means I have to stop, right?
You have about 20 more seconds if you'd like.
Oh, at any rate, I should mention that I have several bills in on the MTA tax. I have bills that would reduce the percentage rate of the MTA tax as you're going out. In other words, it would be less for us, even less for Putnam, and more in New York City, which seemed to make sense to me. And I also have another bill that's exempting the self-employed person from the MTA tax.
Senator, excuse me, when you said less for us, you meant for Westchester County?
Yes, I was saying, when I said us, I meant Westchester.
Okay, thank you.